Yes, we're live. Is it Jokic week? That's the big question we need to ask. How do we get to him? Do we trade Wemby? Are we trading out Derek White? We're going to talk about this. We're going to cover some of the hot topics, talk trade targets, captaincy, and tons more. Let's get into it. G'day, everybody, and welcome back to the Ball Logic NBA SuperCoach podcast. I'm your host, Braino, and I'm joined. We've got a full, 3/5 of a starting five with us tonight. We've got the full team. We've got Horse and Mattrix. Horse, how are you, mate? You're leading the way at the moment based on what it says on the screen. You're having a pretty good start.
Yeah, it's been good. A couple of the pod players that I went with, they've come off with the thanks of Kizza, our Punters Club president, within our WhatsApp chat and our Patreon. Thanks, Kizza. Big shout out to you, mate. But when do we get to see Mattrix in a clown wig from last week? That's what I need to know.
Four hard-hitting questions here real early. I don't know. Is he going to blame Matty? How's the Renos going? Has the clown wig still made it out?
Yeah, no, I haven't been to my house for a week. It's okay. I'll remind Horse, because I know that the horse that leads the first corner never wins. So I'm pretty confident there.
Mm-hmm. Well, you heard it here first. The first challenge has been laid down. I somehow got away with not wearing a clown. I have no idea how, because I feel like I had an absolute stinker. I'm sure you feel the same, Matty. It was just one of those weeks where nothing went right.
I know how you avoided it. You didn't captain Steph Curry.
Yeah, look, 9 points difference. I captained Austin Reeves. You captained Steph Curry, so you made it up across the rest of your squad. I didn't. Rough week. Rough week for us, but a good week for Horse. Nearly, top 100? 169 at the moment, mate.
Yeah, so I captained Reeves as well, and what could have been if Luca had to stay out for another couple of games. But going with SGA to begin round one, that's been good. I've had Wemby. He had a shitter today, but we'll talk a bit about him later on. But I guess the biggest question this week is, do we or don't we with Jokic? But we'll get into that.
We will, that and heaps more. Guys, if you're here, you're watching us live, of course, get involved in the live chat. Let us know what you're thinking for this week with your trades. I'm sure we're probably going to cover a few of your questions. If you want all of them answered, you can become a Patreon subscriber. Links below. But hit the subscribe, give us a thumbs up, hit that hype button as well. Just flick across from the comments and, give it a hype. It's a new feature from YouTube. It helps us get the show out to more people. We would appreciate that. And if you're listening to us on audio, could be Spotify, could be Apple Podcasts, might be iHeartRadio. I don't even know where this goes. But if you're listening to one of those, give us a follow and a 5-star review if you do like the content. Now, we do have our Ball Logic Unlimited League winner. And it is one of... I love looking up these names, first of all. It's probably my favourite thing to do. And the winner this week is Trent, coach of the Giddy Titty Fiddlers. One of the better names to start the season. Well played, sir. 194th overall he is at the moment, so he's on your tail, Horse. 1079 he scored this week. So well done to Trent. Shout out to Trent. He gets himself a Standard Squeeze prize pack thanks to the Standard Squeeze. And I'm just having a look at his team here. He got Tyrese Maxey and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander up at point guard, so he's spent up big there. He's got Wemby. He's got the great Nemias Cater. Horse, you'd be proud of that one.
He also has him too. Yep.
Moving him on, he's got Perlo Banchero, Evan Mobley. He's got Edgecombe, Miles Bridges, Jonathan Kuminga. There's some really nice picks here in this team, some very left field picks. So 1079. Congrats to Trent. I've got to say it again, coach of the Giddy Titty Fiddlers. One of the best. That takes the cake.
I think the original name probably didn't make it through the filtering. So.
Yeah, you might have been replacing just one letter out of that name, I'm sure. But yes. So. But, good on him. Good on you, Trent. Congrats, mate. Reach out to us on socials wherever you follow us and we'll get you sorted for your Standard Squeeze prize pack thanks to the Standard Squeeze. And if anybody wants a bit of a discount on Standard Squeeze stuff, thestandardsqueeze.com, you can go to their website. It's IFS 2025. That is the code. That'll get you 20% off, I think. Something like that. Anyway, get your discount. I can't remember what it is. Let's have a chat about who's hot from last week. There's plenty of players that overperformed last week. Let's have a chat about it. This is why I'm hot. 5 specifically that we'll talk about. Tyrese Maxey, we obviously Trent had him in his team with the team of the week, Mattrix, and He's on a 4-game week again this week. He's coming off a 1-4-6, and it looks like just everything is going through him. Obviously, no Joel Embiid definitely helps him. Philly have 2 games back-to-back this week. They've got the Tuesday, Wednesday back-to-back, and they've got the Friday, Saturday back-to-back, which means that Embiid's probably going to sit 2 out of these 4 games, and it's going to be all about Maxey.
Yeah, and like he's 24, he's not gonna get rested. Honestly, wheels up. Is he overperforming? Probably, but 4 games is a great punt, even if he has like 1 bad game or whatever. I'm really high on Tyrese Maxey and a really good price at that. I think early 16 millions. Yeah, wheels up Tyrese Maxey, because I don't know about you guys, but I did not expect Philly to be this fucking good.
It's funny, isn't it? I didn't expect it either, Horse. It was one of those things where you think, look, I actually thought that being worse was good for Maxey. But VJ Edgecombe has been so damn good that he's impacting winning in his first 5 games in the NBA.
He's unreal, isn't he? Just the way that he glides through the air. You watch him on offense and he's finishing around the hoop is really nice. He's a lot better from outside than what I gave him credit for to start with. You sort of picked him as a mid to higher level when we're talking rookies and from 3. And you bang on, mate. His stroke looks good. He spaces the floor well. He can do it on the defensive end as well. And you're right, it is impacting Philly in a successful way.
Mate, it'd be remiss of us not to talk about Nikola Jokic, considering he's probably the main topic of tonight. We'll cover him a little bit more in depth later, but 138 in 3 games, we need to remember, not 4. Tyrese Maxey did 146 in 4 games. Jokic did 138 in 3. And this is the Nikola Jokic we know. This is the reason why he's nearly a must-have this week. This is the reason why you move heaven and earth to get him in. Because when you can put up an average of 45 points per game, which is what he pretty much did this week alone, you take out that first game where he scored 30 and everyone goes, oh, Jokic, no, we don't need him anymore. You take that out and he's averaging, I think, 47 points, which is more than he averaged last year. So he's just a guy that you need in your team and you need to do whatever you can to get him in. But there's a big question and a lot of people are already hitting us up in the chat going, the only way I can get him is to sell Wemby. What do I do? So we're going to cover that tons more later. But Horse, talk to us about Lauri Markkanen, mate. He's popped off this week. A lot of points, not much else, but averaging, north of 30 points a game.
Yeah. When he does get going, and we saw this a couple of years ago when he won the Most Improved Player Award, he can be really nice. Like, he can score the ball quite well, but I worry a little bit that without Walker Kessler, his numbers come back a little bit. That may sound odd, but we saw today that he wasn't as good or not putting up the points that he had been, especially early in the week, where I think in one game he scored 50-something SuperCoach points. So Lauri Markkanen, he needs to be scoring the ball to be scoring well in SuperCoach, and I'm not quite sure he can keep it up. But at 12 mil, he can definitely do worse.
Matty, what do you reckon? Lauri Markkanen, is he an option this week for people, or are we just chasing last week's points?
I don't know. I do think that when I look at this Utah lineup, I don't know where else the scoring is going to be coming from. And he is a good scorer. I think he's going to jack a lot, and you're going to get, for every 30, you're going to get an 11. So, yeah, it just depends how you like to play SuperCoach. I don't think that he's a guy that you can get and hold for 9 weeks is probably where I'd head with Laurie. But when he's got, 3-4 game weeks in a row, yeah, I can get around him, especially at his price, especially at his prior price, because of course he jumps up in cash this week. But yeah, no, rate it if that's how you play SuperCoach, if you're risk averse.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. There are a couple of things. One thing that Lauri Markkanen and 15-year-old Braino have in common, and that's jacking a lot. So I'm glad you brought that up. Josh Giddey is our 4th hottest player of the week, 134. Now, we knew this was coming. He's a guy that fills the stat sheet, but he's shooting over 40% from 3 at the moment. That's obviously not sustainable moving forward. But the Bulls have a really kind of choppy schedule as well, Horse. Like it's 3s and 4s and 3s and 4s, and you don't really get a run of 4-game weeks. Does that matter at the moment, or is he scoring well enough for you to back him in?
A little from column A and a little from column B. So depending on how you want to structure your side, you're looking at, well, I guess I'll put it to you guys. Are you spending the extra mil and getting Tyrese Maxey, or are you getting Tyrese Maxey light in Josh Giddey? That's the question that you're asking yourself. Maxi is a PG only. Josh Giddey is a point guard / small forward, so he can be a little bit more versatile within your side. I know it's only 15 mil, but yeah, I know that 3-point shooting is not sustainable for Josh Giddey.
I'd tend to lean towards Maxi as well. The last man on the hot list is Jalen Johnson, obviously getting a massive bump Mattrix from Trae Young being out. It seems to be he's the biggest beneficiary there. The Hawks into a 3-game week this week, so it makes it a little bit less appetizing. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I like him. He's been unreal. Gets that usage bump with Trae out. Probably more so. I think if Nickeil Alexander-Walker has a good game, I'm not sure Jalen Johnson will be as good. He'll still be great. But yeah, what do you average? 40? 35 this week? Yeah, you're going to be stoked at his price with that. It's just, if he was heading into a 4-game week, I'd be a lot more excited. But 3-game week, if you think, definitely if you're a Hawks fan, get him. He's unreal to watch. But yeah, maybe you could just wait a week until it's a 4-game week. I can't see him skyrocketing to 20 mil in a hurry. So
they're only 1 week away from a 4-game week anyway. If you want to get him next week. I agree with that for sure. All right, let's move on to who's ice cold from last week. It starts with Ace Bailey, doesn't it? 26 points, 4 games. It's just taking him a while to find his way into the rotation. The minutes just aren't really there. So I would not blame you if you just move on from him and you get him back as a beautiful little downgrade option back into the season when they've clearly shut everybody down and he's going to play 28 minutes a night. That will probably happen come mid to late January, in my opinion. The Jazz probably going to do their best, depending on, how they go. They've started off okay, but I'd say from the back end of the season he'll get more opportunity. And there's a lot of cheapies that are putting their hand up that'll make you nice cash, so I don't mind the bailout. I'm prioritising trades on field, though, rather than moving off a dead rookie, so to speak. But yeah, Ace Bailey just not getting the opportunity yet, but he will at one point. Now, let's talk about Chet Holmgren. 30 points, 1 game played this week, Mattrix. Obviously very frustrating for owners to see him play the game 1, which he was questionable with a back issue and then just not play for the rest of the week. So that's a bit of a kick in the nuts.
Yeah, it is a bit of a kick in the dick, but you've got... you had a good round last week. This is basketball. I know that we have so much news when it comes to footy and some of these other sports. Those that have followed in NBL, it's not uncommon just to need to sit down, and there's 82 games for the season. But yeah, this is going to happen a lot in SuperCoach, and it is frustrating. But yeah, you just got to ride it up. You've got an extra 80 games to make it up.
Yep, agreed. Zach Ricochet, as an Atlanta fan, it's frustrating watching. He had an okay game in the final game of this week, Horse, but I'd say it's probably time to move off him now. 32, he had a game where he scored 1 point. It's just looking like everything's happening around him rather than through him.
Yeah, just cut your losses and, sell off him, move off him, grab someone else.
Yeah, at that price point, there's a lot of guys putting their hand up. Now, Derek White is a very, very popular question that we're getting inside the Patreon. And, of course, we're getting it in the live chat right now. Derek White, 46 points in 4 games last week. That has to be cause for concern, Horse. You've got to be a little bit worried there. The shot isn't falling. He's shooting 304 from the field, which is just putrid numbers. He's a 420 to 440 guy. There's going to be a bump. It's going to come back. The rest of his game is fine. It's just... when you're missing 15 shots a game, it just kills you in SuperCoach.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it was reactionary by me or I saw the writing on the wall, but I traded him out after round 1. And it was for the simple fact that he is a 42 to 45% shooter when he's the 3rd or 4th option in a team. He's the number 2 behind Jaylen Brown. And while he's getting those other counting stats, defenses are focusing in on him more now, which means his shots are more rushed and he's not getting as much time with the ball to be able to, get good shots off. So in a PG rated way. So when we're talking Derek White, I would encourage you to move off him.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Matty, on Derek White? Because he's obviously a topic of conversation. Everybody wants to hear everyone's opinion on. How do you feel about him?
Look, I'm probably going to not jump off a cliff, but jump off the bandwagon. I do think that he will come back in price, and I think that he'll come good a bit later on in the year, and maybe we can get him at a discount once Boston works a few things out. The usage has been there. It's just he's probably never been the guy that is targeted or double teamed, or he's had the best defender, and at times he has now. It's always been, he's kind of been open in the corner. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, even Porzingis have got all the attention. But yeah, now he's just getting a lot more attention, and yeah, it's hard to create from there. So look, from what I've seen, I'm going to have to get rid of him.
Yeah, it's hard because he comes up against the Utah Jazz, who concede the most NBA points per game to shooting guards. So that first game of the week, he could find a bit of confidence, but I don't think I'm willing to take that risk. I was high on him. I'm still high on him in category leagues and fantasy and things like that. And I think sometimes when you play both formats, it clouds your judgment a little bit. So I think you've just got to cut your losses on Derek White and get to someone that is, performing above their pay grade at the moment. That'll make you a bit of money. And when he does come good, you get him back. It's not the end of the world.
And you've got to weigh up the fact that his break even is 107. So for him to not lose any money, he's got to score at least 107 this week. Do you just bail now and use what money he's got there for you to go into? You can go sideways into a market if you want, or you could use money from elsewhere to upgrade into your maxis and your giddies.
Yep. We'll talk about all those options a little bit later on. But first of all, let's have a chat about the injuries that are affecting the league. Notable ones, some repeat ones from the last couple of weeks. We'll bring them up on screen for those of you on YouTube. Tyler Hero still about 2 to 3 weeks away as a minimum. Davion Mitchell still gets the bump there, but Norm Powell, he is back, which is good for Miami. Davion Mitchell still relevant there, but not overly for SuperCoach. LeBron James, obviously, Luka is back now. LeBron's about 2 weeks away by the looks of things. So naturally, you'd think that Austin Reeves still stays the second option for a week or two. Mattrix, is there a valid point to maybe, if you got Austin Reeves last week, hold Austin Reeves on the 3-game week, or was he clearly a 1-week play for those that got him?
I think people that got him were kind of hoping that Luka would be out for a little bit longer. If you have a look at his stats when he did play with Luka, they were good, while not great. I don't think it's the most urgent trade. I don't think you'll lose a lot of money. But yeah, I think if you're attacking the schedule, targeting points, and targeting Jokic, you're going to need somebody. You're going to need somebody around that money to downgrade. So yeah, it does become an easy option because he's in a worse situation than he was last week. Honestly, just straight up.
I'm with you on that completely. Move back to the injuries. Andrew Nembhard, your boy horse, sadly, still. I guess some good news out of today for Nembhard, seen during shoot-around, shooting the ball. So good things to come, hopefully. But that shoulder injury looks like he might be a game or two away.
Yeah, just for those that are bringing in the likes of Quentin Jackson, or if you're going, is it Dennis there at the Indiana Pacers? If you're looking to downgrade into a cheap option there, just be careful that, there is some footage getting around of Andrew Nembhard shooting around at practice, and he didn't really look that hampered, did he, Braino? So there is a chance he could be back this week. We just don't have it on paper or for us to go, this is when he's back.
It's just a risk because, you pick up a guy like Quentin Jackson, and yes, he's cheap, but you might only get 2 relevant games out of him before Nembhard comes back in Indiana's 4-game week. So just proceed with caution there on any Indiana picks there. Kevin Porter Jr. will be missing at least 4 weeks, which means Ryan Rollins is the man that you want to pick up, and he is a fantastic option this week. I'm sure we'll be talking about him later in trade targets, but pretty safe pathway for Ryan Rollins to go large over the next month at only, sub $8 million. So nice little option there. Trae Young, he's out for 4 weeks. We talked about Nickeil Alexander-Walker. We'll talk about him a little bit later as potentially a replacement that comes in as well. Luke Kennard's also a shout, but probably less relevant in SuperCoach. Anthony Edwards is out for at least roughly another week or so. Not really anybody that's putting their hand up aside from Dante DiVincenzo getting some extra usage there. And Julius Randle, probably the man that's doing most of the stuff there in Minnesota. Brandon Miller and Walker Kessler are also TBC. We don't have a timeline on their injuries at the moment. Brandon Miller giving some extra opportunity to Colin Sexton, but I think it's LaMelo that benefits the most from Miller's absence, and probably Miles Bridges. And then Walker Kessler gives Yusuf Nurkic some opportunity over there. That's pretty much where it ends when it comes to injuries. Jakob Poeltl, maybe the last one that we didn't mention on that sheet there for those of you watching. We'll see Colin Murray-Boyles potentially get some extra minutes there, so he maybe becomes a downgrade option there too. But that is the injuries for this week. And of course, we probably should dive into the schedule because it is pretty relevant this week, boys. I want to talk about who's. I guess it's probably easier for us to say who's not on a 2-game week. Let me just get the slide up because I didn't prepare for it. Talk to us. Charlotte on the 2-game week this week, Horse?
Yeah, it is. Charlotte, they are the only team that are on a 2-game week this week. So, yes, if you're looking at bringing in your Cork Brenners, if you don't have him yet, or Con Knipple or James or these sorts of players who are rookie-priced players, yes, they only play 2 games, but they still will get a price increase or decrease. I guess you've just got to maximize the games played this week if you're looking to play players on field. So just be careful with who you're bringing in.
Yeah. It's for anybody confused, you don't have to play 3 games within a week to get a price rise. You just have to play your first 3 games, and then every game after that contributes to your rolling average, and that's how your price changes. So, yeah, Charlotte players, Cork Brenner as well. Just put him on your bench. Don't play him this week, and he'll make you good money. For the 3-game weeks, it was pretty much easier for us to say who's on a 3 and a 2 rather than who's on a 4 because nearly every other team, we've got 17 teams on the 4-game week this week. So it is Atlanta, Chicago, Cleveland Cavaliers, the Lakers, the Pelicans, the Knicks, the Magic, the Phoenix Suns, Trailblazers, Spurs, Raptors, and the Jazz. They are on 3-gamers. Add in Charlotte on a 2-gamer. And basically every other team in the league is on a 4-game week, which makes it pretty easy, boys, to kind of, I guess, break it apart and talk about like which teams are relevant because there's more that are relevant this week and more freedom when it comes to trades than there isn't. What's standing out schedule-wise for you, Matty, at the moment?
Honestly, I'm not getting too stressed about the 3-game weekers. If I'm keen, I'm still going to get them. But yeah, it's just becoming really easy to get people on 4-game weeks. I'm finding it really hard to trade out the Golden State Warriors players, of which I have 2 of them, just because I know that they've got 4 games, 2 weeks in a row. Which is paramount. And maybe I'm just looking a little bit forward, but I think it's only the Clippers. What is it? The Clippers,
Dallas. Clippers and Dallas have 3 4-game weeks in a row.
Yeah, and Sacramento and Milwaukee have a couple in a row as well. So I'm looking at trading those guys in. Like, yes, if I'm really tight on a 3-game week and a 4-game week, I'm going to lean towards the 4-game week. But if I'm deciding between some of the 4-game weeks, I'm going to lean towards the guys that I know that I don't need to trade out next week to target the schedule. So,
yeah. And I guess it comes down to, also being wary of not chasing a suboptimal player that's on a 4-game week over a 3-game week gun. I guess, Wemby's a topic of conversation. He's on another 3-game week. He hasn't had a 4-game week yet, Wemby, but everyone who's trading him out this week are going to need to get him back next week because he's on a 4-game week next week. And probably could even be a captaincy option next week, depending on what the rest of your squad looks like. So it's dangerous because Jokic moves to a 3-game week next week. Everyone's trading for this week. Are you then going to go Jokic to Wemby next week when the roles are reversed? So that's probably something you need to consider as well. But yeah, no, I agree. The teams I'm probably targeting here would be Dallas, who go 4-4-4. The problem is there aren't really any standout options, especially with AD currently injured. Then you've got the Clippers, and there aren't really anybody aside from James Harden that I love from that team to pick up, but they have 12 games over the next 3 weeks. And then you're right, it's Milwaukee have 4 in a row. The New Orleans Pelicans, if you can get through this week, they are the team to target from next week, Horse.
Who would you grab from the Pelicans, though? There's only really Zion for me, and everyone else is a little bit inconsistent. Jeremiah Fears is someone that I'm looking at, given the cash generation.
There's definitely an option, a logic there to pick him up now while he's cheap. It looks like he's got the starting role. They're using Jordan Poole off the bench. But Trey Murphy, I feel like, is playing a little bit within himself, and I think it's only a matter of time before he comes good. So you've just got to time it right. It's Zion and Trey Murphy are probably the 2 guys that I like from the Pelicans. So, keep an eye out on those guys. Now, let's dive in and have a chat about the hot topics for week 3. Now, before we get into that, the show and Hot Topics is brought to you by Ryan from Astute Newstead for those of you with a rate of above 5.4%. Maybe you want to buy your first home, you want to renovate, maybe you want to just save some money like the rest of us. Ryan is your man. He does all the heavy lifting. He has over 40 lenders on panel, including all of the major banks. So he does all the lifting for you. It doesn't cost you a cent. He gets paid by the bank. So you can book your free consult with Ryan. The link is in the description below. Boys, the first, I guess, talking point is Jokic versus Wemby versus Giannis. And I guess, Giannis being on a 4-game week, I don't think anyone's trading out Giannis this week. But, Matty, I'll start with you, mate. Jokic, is he a must-have this week?
Yes.
I was hoping for the hope this helps after it. That's usually what follows.
No, he is. He just showed in his last game, and maybe he took a little bit of time to ramp up. Jamal Murray's been very good too, but honestly, I can't look past him. Like, he's averaging 45. He's been unreal. He's dropped in cash just that tiny bit. The stars have aligned for us to get him.
Completely agree. Now, the question, Horse, for you is, would you trade Wemby to Jokic?
No.
If that's the only pathway to get Jokic, you wouldn't do it?
I would hope that there's been some planning prior to this week that you wouldn't have to trade Wemby to Jokic, but Wemby's had one bad game. Take today's game out of it, and he's the top player in SuperCoach this year. I think it would be very much a rush decision. As much as Jokic is a must-own, I'm with Mattrix on that. I feel like you have to try and get Jokic another way.
Everyone will have a boost available to them, right? If you didn't boost last week, boost again. If you boosted last week, boost again. Who gives a shit? Use 2 of your boosts, and I think honestly it is boost worthy if you can find a way to go 2 downgrades or even 3 downgrades to make Jokic work some other way. Wemby to Jokic makes no sense to me whatsoever. You're trading the second best player for the best player, and I don't think they're going to be that far away from each other. So if you can have them both, I reckon that's the play.
There's a comment in the chat, Braino, where someone, for example, has brought up, get rid of Booker and White to get Jokic. I'd 100% do that. Hold on to Wemby and get rid of those 2.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd get rid of nearly anyone. Get rid of Steph Curry. I don't care about his schedule. I would get rid of Steph Curry if it meant that I could get Jokic. Like, the one thing I guess that favours Jokic over the Currys, even Luka Doncic and those guys, is that they take so many shots and miss so many shots. Like, we see the negatives from Steph Curry this week. He got 68 in 4 games. Just as a reminder that he is human. He doesn't, shoot 600 from the floor every single game. Whereas Jokic, I think, missed about 4 shots a week, if I'm correct. Like, he just doesn't miss shots. He doesn't turn the ball over that much, and he's putting up triple-double numbers every single game. Like, it is absolute gold for SuperCoach. You need to get him in your team. And whilst Wemby does turn the ball over a lot more, we're never going to see another game like today again, at least in the short term for Wemby. That's absolute worst you're going to get from him, in my opinion. Wemby to Jokic isn't the answer, but boost to get it another way and make it happen. Mattrix, we're going to rank the cheapies, mate. Now, we've got 10 names here that we're going to go through and talk about as downgrade options. I think Corey Blackledge in the chat was asking for some cash gen or some downgrade options, so we've got some good ones for you here. Now, I guess the question becomes Ryan Rollins. I'm assuming most people have VJ Edgecombe. I'm assuming most people have Kalkbrenner. Is Ryan Rollins the most obvious option to free up cash this week?
Yeah, he is. It's looking like, as we said in the injury chat, a little while until KPJ comes through. And honestly, with how good Rollins has been, can't he just hold that spot? Like, I think a little bit of what was happening was they were just waiting to see whose hand went up. And it's Ryan Rollins. I've went and added him in, all fantasy leagues, and I know this is a SuperCoach show, but that means probably a lot more than just downgrading to a cheapie, getting him in fantasy, and yeah, I'm very high on him.
He is nearly the best option out of those sub 8 mil guys, Horse, this week. And there's a lot. There is a lot of those guys that are cheap this week that could be great pickups. But Ryan Rollins having that 4 weeks of a clear pathway of max usage at point guard, he is just every single game's getting better and better.
He makes sense. Yeah, love it. He's got the role. He's playing well. he fits within that Milwaukee system so well alongside Giannis as well. Not greedy, willing to dish the rock, takes his shot when he's needed, and he can play defense. Tick, tick, tick. Bring him in if you don't have him.
Now, obviously, Kalkbrenner and Edgecombe are both buys as well. Very clear buys if you don't have them. That's probably the easiest decision you'll make. Even if Kalkbrenner's on a 2-game week for Charlotte, that doesn't matter to me. Same with Concanipple. If you don't have him, I think he's not a bad shout either. He's been really good, and obviously while Brandon Miller's been out, he's going to probably get the lion's share of the usage there when outside of LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges. So those guys, I think, are pretty easy buys. What are your thoughts, Horse, on Nickeil Alexander-Walker from the Hawks? He's around the same price as Ryan Rollins at the moment, about $7.9 million. And obviously we're going to get at least 4 weeks out of him as a minimum as the main guy.
Yeah, I'd like Nickeil Alexander-Walker for the fact that he's been in the NBA for a few years. He's bounced around a little bit. He's come from the Timberwolves, and I forget who he was at before that. Pelicans he was at before that.
Yeah.
He can play defense. His offense is still a work in progress, but rebounds the ball. He's going to be needed to assist the ball or dish the rock. He can play defense. So there's going to be games where he's going to score you 30, but there are going to be games where he might only score you 10 as well. So you've got to be prepared for that roller coaster. For me, I know he's younger, but I think Ryan Rollins has a more all-round game than what Nickeil Alexander-Walker does.
Completely agree with that. Yeah, definitely. And just a bit, I think, honestly, Milwaukee, not as good of a team as Atlanta, and when we look about the grand scheme of things, but when you've got Giannis on your team, you're going to have so much space. So I think it doesn't matter what you do, like someone's going to be open somewhere if Giannis has the ball, and you can see that he's driving into the paint and dishing the ball out to the corners or to the hashes, and everyone is going to be having an opportunity on the perimeter with Giannis. So, yeah, it's 100% Rollins over Nickeil Alexander-Walker. But what about if we need someone at small forward or power forward? Josh Minot, Mattrix, talk to us about him, because it looks like he's locked down that starting power forward role in Boston.
Yeah, and I think people might be a touch off him due to how his stats looked last game. But if you have a look all the way down the bench, I think they played 15 people. He played 19 minutes. Derek White played 19 minutes. Like, they threw in the towel because they were down 40-27 at first quarter time. Yeah, don't be turned off by that last game. In a lot of ways, I'm thankful that that's happened and it's really kept that price down. I'm super thankful because I didn't get on. Obviously, it was hard to get on in SuperCoach last week. But yeah, I don't have him in my team. And look, with your Risaches and blokes like that, frankly, kind of sucking, I'm going to go to somebody that's getting the usage. And like, I can cop the scores that Josh Minot's given me. I just can't cop the scores that Derek White's given me because I paid $12 million for him. I can cop it if I'm paying 4.5 and he's sitting deep on my bench.
Yeah, I think he's honestly even playable with Boston on a 4-game week this week. Like, if you need someone, you just slot him in as starting for small forward, power forward, whatever. For the most part, you're going to need to play someone cheap or even 2 or 3 players cheap, because a lot of people are getting, and we see Wogster in the chat say, I've got SGA, I've got Giannis, I've got Wemby, I've got Jokic. There's probably 70% of your cap used on 4 players. So you're going to need to play the Minots, the Rollins, the Edgecombes, the Kalkbrenners. These guys need to play on court. So yeah, I'm with you on that for sure. Quentin Jackson is probably, I'm a little bit less interested now. I was much higher on him before the Andrew Nemhard news from return of injury. So I tread cautiously with Quentin Jackson from the Indiana Pacers. Now, Horse, you're kind of keen on Jalen Tyson. Talk to us about him. We were talking about him in the preseason and nearly started with him. I ended up backing out and going with another option. But he's looked good for the Cavs.
He has. There is a disclaimer that comes with this, and that is when people return from injury, he is going to lose time. But watching him today against Atlanta, he was a dog on defense. Like, he was going at it every minute that he was on the court and can shoot the outside ball. He chases down loose balls, rebounds, all that sort of jazz. He's a kind of bloke that's actually kind of fun to watch. Like, he just gives it his all the time. And he's not one to shy away from a shot either. So when they're falling, awesome, heaps of points. There may be a time where he misses a few in a row and we get a few negatives, but I feel like he's going to continue to get time even when Garland and the likes come back.
I think he will get a minimum of 12 to 15 minutes, worst case. Maximum 30 minutes. And I guess you're just going to be working within that range there based on when Garland comes back and how that all looks. Sure. Jared Allen's missed some time too, which means that they've had an extra spot there in that starting lineup, which is why Tyson has started. So, yeah, probably just,
tread carefully.
I think, he's fine for a week, but, when the cash dries up, you're probably going to want to get off. Cedric Coward, Mattrix, perfect person to ask as a Memphis fan, has been out. I feel like another guy who is getting better and better every game he plays.
Yeah, I think his stats kind of dropped off, but his confidence looks really, really good. I think he is playable. He's great. Honestly, in the same ilk as sort of a VJ Edgecombe. You can play him on 4-game weeks. You bought him for cheap enough that you can sit him out. Cedric's fine, and honestly, still a bring in at $6 million if you miss the boat in the first couple of weeks. He'll be a $10 million guy, easy.
Yeah. Nice little pathway to a mid-range guy that could get you the rest of the way to a gun. So, I bought him last week as a nice little downgrade option there. So, pretty happy with that. Jeremiah Fears, Horse, is another guy on this list here that we need to talk about because the Pelicans come into a really nice schedule. It looks like he's going to be getting 28 to 30 minutes a game with Jordan Poole off the bench, which is fucking bizarre to me. I don't understand what they're doing or what they're trying to get out of that move, but it looks like Fears is the guy they're going to lean into.
It looks like Jordan Poole is the most hated player to play alongside in the NBA. That's what it looks like. Like, he wasn't really that well liked at Golden State. They didn't really like playing with him at Washington. And now it just doesn't look like he's invested there at New Orleans. So, wheels up Jeremiah Fears. Yeah, he's going to chuck a lot of shots, but my God, he's going to get some opportunity. And what is he? A bit over $4.5 million? Is that right?
I think about 5.5.
5.2. I think it's a great trade down target. He's going to make money, and you can just let him sit on your bench and not worry about the ups and downs, and just let him generate cash until he gets to his 8-9 million, and then trade back down into a rookie, and then you've got a bank of cash to be able to upgrade elsewhere.
Yeah, I like him. He seems like one of these guys we've just talked about, like in the Rollins ilk, where like the role looks pretty secure, the minutes look pretty secure. So, it's a relatively safe pick with a fair bit of upside, to be fair. He's a good defender as well. He gets steals. So, I rate it. I like the pickup. Sion James, Mattrix, is the last man on this list as a potential downgrade option. We'll call him a cheapie. Obviously, stepping into... No, let's call it some starter minutes for now, especially while Brandon Miller's out. He started a couple of times, Sion James, for Charlotte. Obviously, a 2-game week this week, so he's a bench option. He's a guy that'll free up cash. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of guys around that $6 million, a lot of guys around the $7 million, a lot of guys around the $6 million that we have spoken about, $5 million even. And if getting Sion James and getting, say, a Dylan Harper or one of these guys are a little bit different, is the difference between getting Jokic or not. I can see a pathway to minutes. He's been really good now that he's jumped it. His best game came without LaMelo. Air with caution because he's a bit of a hybrid guard there. But honestly, been playing better than Knipple. So, wouldn't be surprised to see him get better minutes than that. And that's probably a really good thing to look at too. People are considering bringing in Knipple. Sion James is the better player at the moment.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I tend to agree. I think they're both great. Both definitely have potential there, and there are options there. Obviously, LaMelo missing a little bit of time definitely helps Sion James and Colin Sexton recently. So, less so when LaMelo's back. But even then, like, it's not a bad team to play on when you've got LaMelo, Miles Bridges, and the great Ryan Kalkbrenner there to attract all the attention. Rate it. I like it. So there's some cheapy options. There's some guys, some facilitators, we'll call them, that can hopefully get you Jokic, get you Giannis, Wemby, SGA, Luka, all of the guns that you're going to want in your team over the next month. These guys will hopefully also make some cash and be little stepping stones up to those mid-range guys that you're going to look to target. So hopefully that helps. Let's move in and have a chat about the top 10 most bought and sold.
Target acquired.
Now, Ryan Rollins, top of the list. We don't need to talk about Ryan Rollins. Lauri Markkanen, we've given our opinion on Lauri Markkanen. He is the second most purchased player. 12.3 million with a break even of 2. So I can't talk anyone out of it. But it is one of those, and Matty, you said it at the start, it's one of those guys where, he will have games where he goes 35-40 and he will have games where he scores 11. And the amount of, he has a lot of shots on volume too, which is one of those things, like if his shot doesn't fall, he takes 20 shots a game. That can hurt you.
Yeah, I do kind of like it because that's the way that I play SuperCoach. You've played SuperCoach in every format. He's a Reece Walsh or somebody like that. He's going to be like Reece Walsh if he played for the West Tigers. Probably I can get around it because that's the way that I play SuperCoach. But if you're safe and you're looking to accumulate dollars and work your way up the ranks slowly, look, probably not for you. But if you're trying to win the weekly prize, I can get around adding this guy because he is going to have some 50 pieces. I think he scored like the first 50 piece in like 25 years or something for the Jazz this week, which is kind of cool. Jazz have been ordinary for a while. They do need some bright sparks, but it does kind of feel like an audition to play for a championship team or contender come trade deadline, doesn't it?
He's the main target for me, Horse, for trade deadline. He's going to be gone out of there very quickly, I think, when the time comes.
Just a disclaimer to those that are looking at Laurie Markin, and the two games where he was hot from the field, he scored 49 and 39. The other games where he's just been average, he's gone 25, 25, 24, 23 when we're talking SuperCoach points. So, yes, you're purchasing him at 12 million, but just, temper expectations.
Yep, fair call. Josh Minot, already spoke about him. He is the third most purchased player. 4% of players getting him at minus 13 break even will make you cash in a good role, so can't talk anyone out of that. Tyrese Maxey, 16.62 million, with a 65 break even that he should eclipse very comfortably this week. I think he's more of a 1 week play, but but that's what NBA SuperCoach is. It's very similar format to BBL if you've ever played that, where you just got to get guys on doubles, triples, quads, and you get them for 1 week. And that's it. And then you can move him straight onto someone else. But I think Tyrese Maxey could be one of if you can't get to SGA this week, he could be that kind of SGA light type scorer that could go close to matching him at $6 million cheaper.
Yeah, like it.
Yep, I can get around it.
Matty, are you buying Luka, who is the fifth on the list, 20.3 million? More people are sold him than bought him, to be fair, but he's the fifth most bought player on the list on a 3-game week. Is he good enough to justify that for you?
No, he's not. I mean, he's been unreal to start the year, but I just start to look at some of these factors, like coming back from an injury, 3-game week. LeBron's on his way to come back. Austin Reeves has a lot more confidence being back now. Look. Yeah, he's a great buy almost any week, but when everybody else is on a 4-game week, even some of these 15 mil guys, like Tyrese Maxey's going to outscore him this week. Even if Tyrese Maxey has 2 bad games, he's going to score half of what Luka scores in one of his games. So, that's just the way that I look at it. And, I'm max trading every week. Honestly, I'm probably boosting 2 weeks in a row because I'm a sucker for punishment. But, I just can't get around getting Luka in this week. Let's get him in on a 4-game week. Let's be smart with our trades, guys.
Horse is sitting there going, what's wrong with boosting 2 weeks in a row? Nothing wrong with that. That's what I'm doing.
Fucking get around it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they're there for. Cash is king.
But also, I guess cash is more important now than it will be later. And for me, I feel like you're either doing one or two things with a boost. You're either chasing cash or you're chasing points. And there's an opportunity to do both at the start of the season. It's very rare that you can get both at the end of the season. So you want to build your bank up as quick as possible, get as much team value as quick as possible at the start of the year. So I don't mind the double boost to start the year. And honestly, I will boost in week 3 of the footy season, pretty much almost guaranteed to start the year. I think I ran out of boosts in week 7 of NRL this year because I find that using boosts at the start of the season is way more advantageous than just holding them randomly for week 17 or 18. So it helps you set your team up. So I'm here for it.
I think we all jumped on that when David Vandergeesen, IMDVG on Twitter, you had to save trades in BBL, and he just went out and just max boosted by round 8, and then just held on for 12 weeks to win the honestly the best year of NBL SuperCoach there probably ever will be. But he just went extremely hard, extremely early, and then just held on. So I really like the logic in that strategy. So.
Rate it. Nikola Jokic, sixth most purchased player, should be the first most purchased player. 2.3% of people are getting him. Everyone should be getting him, honestly, this week. He is the number one player in the game for a reason. VJ Edgecombe, if you don't have him, that's a correction trade, and that's completely fine. 57% of people own VJ Edgecombe at the moment. Only 1.9% of people are getting him. He's on a 4-game week. He's playable, and I think if you don't get him now, he's going to be 8. He's got a -8 break even. He's going to be 8 mil next week. 10, probably 9, 10 mil the week after. This is a guy that will make you quick money, and then you can just trade him off to get another guy. So if you don't have him, I'd prioritise that. Same with Kalkbrenner. He could be another guy that ends up being 10 mil in a month, 6 weeks. So you can get him. I know we don't have 6, 7 trades, but what would your priority be, Horse? We're talking about Kalkbrenner, Edgecombe, Minot, Rollins. These guys are all obviously very popular when it comes to downgrade options. Where's your priority lie there?
Oh shit! All of them are in my side, so I can't really pick one over the other. But Kalkbrenner, yes, he's slowed a little bit when we're talking points and rebounds. But there was a game the other day where he had 4 steals and 4 blocks in a game, so he's still finding ways of scoring really nicely, even without getting the usual points and rebounds. Ryan Rollins, he's leading the offense, and he's doing it well. He's scoring in every way possible while keeping turnovers fairly low. Josh Minot, he's in a really good scenario there at Boston. They need his defense. He's getting out of position rebounds, can shoot the 3 ball okay as well. But Edgecombe, he's leading the Rookie of the Year race at the moment. He just looks like such a natural basketballer. I think you've got to try and have all 4. They're all going to generate enough cash for you to be able to go sideways or downgrade and then use the rest of the cash to get a proper primo down the track.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you didn't
agree.
hear the question. It's Ryan Rollins, VJ Edgecombe, and then Kalkbrenner.
You are absolutely entitled to your wrong opinion.
I think that's
That's
correct,
the question.
personally. And he did. At least Matty answered my freaking question. You just want to rant about all 4 of them.
What are you, a politician?
Oh,
Yes.
Maybe, I was going to say, maybe he could be. Vote 1, Horse. Jake LaRavia, do not get him. I think Jake LaRavia obviously benefited from Luka being out. His 2 biggest games were Luka being out. Now he is just the 3rd or 4th or 5th option on the team at the Lakers. LeBron's due back in 2 weeks.
So he'll be back soon. Yeah.
And 7.75 million. You're paying Ryan Rollins money for Jake LaRavia. So no, that's probably the first one I disagree on out of this list. At
Mattrix
number 9.
Mattrix has gone walkabout, but LaRavia is an old Memphis man, and he'll be the first one to tell you that he'll do this one game, and then the next game he'll get you 0.0 assists, 0 rebounds. He's back. Matrix, give us a LaRavia story, mate. Would you pick him?
No, but I do think he's doing a bit more rebounding and stuff on this team than he did at Memphis. And he's getting really good service from Luka and just hitting open shots. Look, I'm not touching him with a 10-foot pole, but his rebounds and whatever are up, and this system in the Lakers is more conducive to him scoring well. But a really deep streamer in 200-man leagues and stuff like that, you don't need to be touching him for SuperCoach. Get Josh Minot. Like, he's same price and does everything better.
Yep, agreed. Josh Giddey is the one to round out this list at number 10, and I'm completely on board with Josh Giddey. Not a problem. I think he's a good sub kind of 16 mil option. If you can't afford Tyrese Maxey, who I think probably is a little bit more of an option this week, or you want someone that maybe you can hold until week 8, 10, whatever it be, then Giddey's the play at that cheaper option if you can't get to SGA. Now, let's move on to the most sold players, shall we? We've got one D White. We've already given our opinion on Derek White. It's probably time to move on. Anthony Edwards. People a little bit late on that one, but he will miss another week. So, yeah, definitely move on from him at 16 mil.
Was he might have got injured like one game into last week? Maybe that's why they need to get rid of him now?
He's played 3 games, and that was the first 3 games of the season. And they had 3 games week 1. So, he didn't play this week. Had a DNP, which means you get your bench player at least. So could have been worse. The last thing you want is someone to play like 5 minutes and then get injured. So shout out Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah, thanks, Kev.
Yeah.
Yes. Kevin Porter Jr. also a sell. We haven't talked about him, but yeah, definitely move on from him. If you held him a week hoping that there was going to be some good news, there is not. He's done his knee in that ankle rehab. So he is out for 4 weeks as a minimum. Ace Bailey, also the third most purchased player. I think we can all agree you can move on. It's a bit of a luxury trade though, because I'm assuming Ace Bailey's just a bench rider at this point for most teams. Like, you prioritize on-field Mattrix more than bench?
Yeah, I wonder if you didn't trade him the first week, why you're trading him this week. Like, I traded him straight out for Cedric Coward, but to be completely honest, it was more about Cedric Coward and getting there before he went up this extra 1.6 mil he did last week than it was getting rid of Ace Bailey. I wouldn't boost him out because you just haven't made any money and you're just not really accomplishing anything. Like, there's nobody except for Minot really that's going to like skyrocket in price, like that huge negative break even or anybody at his position. So I don't really get it.
Yeah. Austin Reeves is the fourth most sold. Steph Curry's the fifth most sold. I had both of these guys in my team. I'm probably going to have maybe 0, maybe 1. But Horse, do you agree? Austin Reeves, bit of a 1 week play, but now that Luke is back, he takes a bit of a backseat. It's not terrible, but it's enough.
I had both, and this week I will start with none.
So Steph Curry too, he's gone for you?
Mm-hmm.
I think the appeal was the schedule for Steph, but I think people also forget that Steph was priced at 16 mil. Like, he is a $16 million player, and he performed like a $25 million player in week 1 and catfished everybody by saying, hey, I'm good. And then he's gone back to doing what Steph does, and he goes up and down all the time. He misses a ton of shots and has a ton of turnovers. And then I betcha next week, after everybody's traded him out, he will go and have another big week on a 4-game week Mattrix.
See, I'm holding, but just remember, I got the good week. I'm like not as burnt as you guys for bringing him in. Did you have him first week, Horse?
No.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm just like 4-game week, like fucking wheels up. I saw what he did in week 1. Could be another, 120 easy. He'll score 60 in 1 game, and then you shit the bed the rest. So,
yeah, I think they're both trade outable. I'm going to keep. At the moment I've traded Austin Reeves and I'm keeping Steph just purely because of the schedule. That is the only ticker for me. If Austin Reeves was on a 4-game week, I'd hold him and trade Steph. But I think Steph owes me, and that's how SuperCoach works. When a player does really shit, they owe you. So Steph owes me a big week this week, so I don't have to wear the... We need to see Horse in the clown wig. I reckon there's going to be an episode where like we'll all just have to wear the clown wig because we'll all end up being like last at some point over a 3-week period. So can't wait for that episode. That's going to be fun. Dylan Harper, he went off with a calf strain, so he is the 6th most traded out player. So... I would say there's no real update on Dylan Harper, is there, Horse?
Left the arena on crutches and in a moon boot today.
Yeah, so he's okay.
That's
game over.
Throw something out there that hasn't been mentioned? Like Castle? He's been in and out of my plans with this injury.
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
What's he, 9 mil?
Yeah, and he was 9 mil last year. And look, I've been trying to find news on Fox, but it just keeps saying out every week. So no news is good news. He won't be back. And
I
then
think he's
you've got
expected
Harper
back in a
out.
week.
Yeah, and so like 9 mil for a guy like that, I don't know. Like, you're downgrading some of these 15 mil guys and trying to accumulate the funds. Obviously, I'm bringing in Ryan Rollins first, but like, he's shooting guard eligible as well. I kind of like him.
Fox is now day to day.
Yeah. I mean, even if Fox is day to day, I think Castle was always going to be the starting shooting guard regardless of how that went.
Yeah.
It's just I would have much preferred Castle at that price point. I would have preferred him to be the guy, not the third option, fourth option. Yeah. So maybe a little bit less appeal, but yeah, no, I like it. I do like the opportunity. LaMelo Ball then is the, let's have a look, 7th traded out player. Obviously that injury has probably burnt a few people there. Anthony Davis is the 8th traded out, again an injury trade. Igor Diorman, he is the 9th, and Chet Holmgren is the 10th, and I agree with all of those. And any, I guess, argument to hold any of those guys?
Nope.
Yeah,
they're not
I
playing.
think they're all...
Oh, yep. Jorman's playing, but he's not playing good, so there's that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
It's hard to play well when you got shot chuckers like Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr. taking everything.
But like, I don't even want him to play well.
It's one of those. Brooklyn just seems like a fucking mess. Like Michael Porter Jr. doesn't pass, Cam Thomas doesn't pass. It's just a battle between who can score more points out of those two in ISO. So like everyone else just stands there with their fucking cock in their hand doing nothing. Like it's
what a time. Sign me, Brooklyn. Come get me.
Fucking 30 mil to do that. I'd take the vet minimum of 1.8 mil. I'd more than happily take that.
Do it for free.
Let's move on, guys. That is the top top 10 bought and sold players, and we need to have a chat about captaincy to wrap this one up.
Are you ready, kids?
Aye, Captain!
The better stinger of the lot, Mattrix, as well. We're not here for what was it? What's the other one that we use?
Dead Poet Society.
That's
that slapped. NBL fans love it. I saw a flying toilet in the chat. Get amongst it. I'm going to continue using that for my captain's article in Patreon too. Just shout out to the OGs. None of this fucking bird's eye shit.
Zero appreciation for SpongeBob SquarePants. You can clearly tell over here. Well, obviously, the most obvious options are going to be Jokic. It's going to be Giannis. Those two. Is there? I guess the conversation around captaincy this week, Mattrix, needs to be: is there any other option that we should be looking at aside from those two guys?
No. Hope this helps. No, I don't know. I did the captain's article this week, and there are pod options, but I think it's 2-horse race this week. And look, again, like you even said that some of these other guys that I'd mentioned, you'd probably play Wemby on a 3-game week. Like I can't even argue with that logic. Somebody is going to go off and probably score better, whether it be a Steph Curry or a Tyrese Maxey, and it just depends, like the way that you play. If you really want to charge for that team of the week or something like that, you could get Pottish. But if you're playing overall, look, it's hard to look past Jokic or Giannis, and you probably own Giannis. So if you can't find a way to Jokic, it's pretty easy, isn't it?
I think so. JB in the chat saying, isn't Giannis injured? He did miss one game, but that was more of an injury management thing. He's been managing a back issue since preseason, so I'm assuming they just wanted to give him a bit of a rest before the NBA Cup, because teams like to go pretty hard for the NBA Cup. Owners want their best players playing so they can win a little bit of cash. But Giannis is safe. I think he'll be all good. Horse, anybody standing out for you? Any other matchups that you like, or players that you would go against Jokic or Giannis for?
Get Jokic. Captain him. Thank me later.
He's the most captain player at the moment, 18.9% captain. I'm assuming these are, honestly, some of these people have probably just whacked it on him from week one and just gone, cool, best player in the game, I'll chuck the captaincy on him. And it actually wouldn't do you too much harm.
I do want to put a little disclaimer in there. So all 4 games are in Denver, and we know what Denver's record is like at home, and they do like walloping teams at home with the high altitude thing. And they've got Miami and Golden State, who are okay teams, but then they've also got Sacramento and Indiana up there as well. So yeah, I hope he doesn't sit early, but there may be a chance that in one of those games, if they're blowing out a team, he may sit early.
I look, honestly, kind of agree with you. I think there will be a game where he sits early, but there is absolutely no way in the world that I will be taking a risk and not captaining the best player in the game, because I think maybe they'll blow them out. I think you're just starting to play with fire a little bit when you're starting to 100%. Guess the outcome of games in the NBA.
Yeah, you're trying to outthink the room. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're looking at altitude, Nikola Jokic is a bit taller than everyone else too.
Fuck off. That's honestly, this is what the kind of bullshit
Special
you have to put up with every single week.
Unreal.
Yeah. It's good. It's Jokic, it's Giannis. It's Shea. Honestly, those probably are the top 3 captaincy options for me this week. If you want to get spicy, you could go Tyrese Maxey maybe. I think he probably gets close-ish. But it's hard to go against the best players in the game. Wemby on a 3-game week. I'd probably go Wemby on a 3-game week over nearly any other guard not named SGA or Maxey this week. So We said earlier in the show, people overreacting to one bad game from Wemby. I can guarantee you that he won't be doing that 2 games in a row. So hold the faith with Wemby there for anybody looking to go to Jokic. I think the message that we've come across is find another way. And there will be another way because you get 4 trades a week. Use a boost if you have to. Use a couple of severe downgrades to get to Jokic another way. But it's not through Wemby, in our opinion. Guys, that'll wrap us up, I think, for tonight. If you do want to get... there's tons of questions in the comments. Sorry, guys. If we stayed and answered these questions, we'd be here for 2 hours. We appreciate you hopping on. If you do want to get your questions answered, we do an exclusive Q&A inside the Patreon every single week. So you can drop as many questions as you want. They'll all get answered in our time throughout the kind of day that we get between games. So the link is in the description below. It's less than $10 a month. Even if you just want to get off to a red hot start, go and pay the month and cancel straight away. It's completely up to you how you want to do it. But you get a WhatsApp chat in there as well. We've got a great community in there that love talking NBA, not just SuperCoach, but just NBA in general. So get involved and hit the subscribe button, the like button, the follow button, the review button. Do all those things for us.
Give us some thumbs up.
Give us a bit of love and help us get the show out to more people. Thank you for jumping in. Thanks for watching. And good luck in week 3. We'll be back in a week to wrap it all up. We'll see you then.
Cheerio.